I'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock, saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do roll call. Ben Huff.
Here.
Dan Van Buren. Jeff Corpenny.
Here.
Do we have any guest speakers here tonight? Correspondence?
Take it off and hold it here.
Yeah.
Do you have any correspondence, Jeff?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Nobody else has any? The annual meeting, January 4th at Highwater, did you get that? Correspondence from the engineer. I don't know, I didn't see you guys there, but there's an annual engineers meeting. Lincoln County Plan Commission, there's nothing on their agenda for our township. And also a card here from the Eastern Gateway Planning Review. And I also put in a public record request. I guess this is under zoning, so we can talk about that. It's about signage and zoning. And that's it on the correspondence.
Reports, safety. Jack, I think everything. Got Senators in, I think.
Cinders is in.
Doing pretty good.
Good cinders.
The big fire company. Zoning.
Aerial photos have been completed. The Laurel Hill lot split has been completed with deeds. And no permits were given for the month of December.
Are copies of those photos available?
Not at this time, no.
So do you have them, or how does the board get to review them?
Would you like a copy of the disc?
Yes.
I will make you a copy of the disc. Would you like the aerial photos from last year also, so you can compare them?
Yes, I do. I want them both.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to a trustee. Mr. Corpenny.
Yes, I'd like to see the entire file, including the email that you got that I was supposed to get a copy of a couple months ago.
Okay, and what file? You want the entire file, please specify the file.
Anything to do with these properties that you are targeting and going after?
I'm not targeting anything. I'm
Whatever,
doing
the
my
complete-
job.
The
as a
complete
zoning
file of the
inspector.
topic at hand.
So the topic at hand is the photos that were completed. Okay, I will give you that.
Is that it? Or is that it?
That's it for zoning.
Thank you. So board, and approve, plan, park committee. There's a few people here. Are here that weren't here for, we had a special park committee meeting at 6 o'clock, lasted about 45 minutes. The board chose to disband the park committee effective January 1, 2014. Kind of turn everything back over to the community, so the board will be working with members of the community to fulfill all the duties that will need done. After the fact that meeting was over and before this meeting started, there was some paperwork turned in. And one of them is a letter, it's dated 12/20/2013. It says, Park Committee President. It says, as of December 13, I am resigning from the Park Committee. Mr. Mark Cottle. So that should actually file that way.
Yeah.
And I see there's a copy of the October calendar, which is probably for Mrs. Bowen there.
Got any questions?
I wanted to tell you this during the park committee time. The last meeting, somebody stated that people were making a profit over there at the building, but they weren't paying anything on the electric or something. And when I checked with, I know our church had to pay so much a table, and I think they had 2 tables. I thought she said it was,
I remember that. It was asked about if there was rent for the bazaar, the craft show.
they had to pay so much a table to be there. I just can't remember how much she said it was. I thought she said they had to pay $30.
$10.
Total.
Where'd that money go? Any idea? I have no idea.
It was a church bazaar, wasn't it?
So the church rented the building.
Our church was just one of the people that had a table.
Who put on the
3
Who put on
tables.
the bazaar?
Not our church.
Okay.
Our church didn't do it. They
That's the
just
first question. If
rented
somebody
the
put on a
tables.
bazaar, and just say it was a church, not your church, just the church, they're supposed to pay the $125 because it's a for-profit event. I have no idea who was in charge of the bazaar. Do you, Jeff?
They said they paid somebody that was in the building there, that was in charge of the building. That Flora Hill is the one from our church that paid somebody so much a table.
$30.
And it was a total of $30, I think.
What was the date?
You remember when
What
you
was the
were,
date, the date of that? He's got the.
you
right here,
were
December
there,
right
you were there taking pictures of this, something, I thought.
It was, what was the date?
I don't remember what date, it was in
It was in November.
November,
Oh, you might have already gotten this last month then.
in November.
All these ones are
It was November or something,
purpose, Xmas
Saturday.
party, Thanksgiving dinner,
It just
auction.
says bazaar on this, and it says free.
And none of the money that our church even made off the tables went
Bazaar
to
was free.
anybody. It was all,
Somebody collected money.
it was all to help people.
She said.
So all the money raised was donated.
Yes,
To
and
do.
plus they paid $30 to raise the money, and all of us donated everything that was sold. And then after it was sold, they put the money into, some of it for, half was to build a church, and half was to help people in the community. Like clothing or food or something like that.
Can you find out who that money was paid to?
I thought she said it was paid, it could have been paid to the head of the park committee.
It just says
Person.
bazaar, and it says free, so I don't know.
They were
So
having
may not have even
food.
filled out a thing.
But there was money generated from it. I mean, and I don't know, I mean, there was more than just your guy, the church set up the tables, correct?
There was quite a few tables in there, there was some that were empty. Most of them looked like they were tables to make money for themselves.
But at least $30, you guys paid $30, so at least $30
Yeah,
was
I think she said
generated.
3 tables and $10 a table,
Yeah, $10 a table is what it was.
yeah.
Was that money,
It would have been $30
Was
that
the-
she paid to somebody.
was the table rent also donated to some?
The table, I don't know what they did with the table rent. The table rent was paid by our church to have the tables, and then the money, then whatever they got back in, and almost everything that we sold, we just said by donation,
Sure.
whatever you can give.
Was that the senior citizens that do that one, or who was it?
It doesn't say, it just says bazaar.
And that was the church or the
It was
senior?
Christmas
There's
bazaar.
no paper for it.
Well, they put it in last month, so maybe,
I have last
oh,
one,
it's not there.
no.
Maybe you
doesn't
should
collect-
contact
she
the
doesn't-
attorney.
She doesn't collect them for the 3 ones, or? I'm
I
just
don't know if
asking.
she does or not. I don't, I mean, that could be a
I
possibility.
think
I don't know
that's
if
not
she
the
does
first
it.
year they had that, did you get one last time?
No, we did it last year, paid some,
It's like 2 or
somebody
3
last
years
year
anyway.
too.
I'd like to know where the money went that was raised from the table rent anyways, see where that is.
And she,
If it was
group that meets.
as a fundraiser for a church.
Was for the Friends of the Church.
The bazaar,
It was a
church rented.
It was just called
Right,
Christmas
but the
Bazaar.
table rental went towards church fundraising, right?
Stuff was sold, went towards the fundraising for the church. The rental, they had to pay rental to type tables, isn't it? Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do,
The
but
stuff they sold went towards the fundraiser, that's correct?
The stuff that we sold, the money that we took in, after renting the tables for $10 a table, the money that we took in went to, half was for when we get fruit baskets and stuff for Christmas gifts,
for your church,
for
right?
our church,
So see,
and to help build
that's
a
what I'm
church.
saying, the table money, whoever ran the bazaar,
Get collected the
the
table.
10, right,
Where'd it go?
I don't know, but was it run by a church, the bazaar? Wasn't it run,
It's either church or the seniors, I don't know which it was.
It was, the seniors had the
I guess
food.
that's the question, I mean, if it was a church, if it was a fundraising thing, you know, they rented out $10 tables as a fundraising thing to help,
To donate that money back. Right.
that to me is not a profit
Right.
situation, that is more of a donation type thing to,
But there still should be a record of who rented the building. and
yes,
who
there
used
should
it,
be a record of who was in.
Whether it was a free rental or not.
But the
That-
people
that
that
did
did the
October.
tables are
That's
making
the
a
copy
profit.
that you wanted right there. It says October
People
on it.
that did the tables, you mean the people selling the stuff?
Yes,
We made,
you may not have, but there could have been others that were.
yeah, they probably all
Yeah.
were.
Say they were making money.
They probably all were, because some were just selling jewelry that
Right.
something they made, some were selling this that they made. We might have been the only ones in there that didn't get anything out of it, except a church or people. for
I'm
fruit
not worried about
baskets.
what you guys made, or
Yeah.
the person made that rented the table, where the table rented.
And I think
Yeah.
they might have got $200 or $300 maybe on the sale.
They paid their table rent so they could sell stuff.
Yes, that's what we
According
did.
to $10, that's only $30 got
Mhm.
that they paid.
We'll have to look into it and see
It's not
Who
their
put it
fault,
on?
they paid their money.
who put the bazaar on.
Yeah.
We'll find that out.
I thought she said she gave it to the head of the park committee. That's what I thought she said. But, you know, I can call now, right now.
Yeah, it would, and see.
She's also on the seniors board, so.
That's who had the food. That's who,
Was selling food?
Yeah, the
They
seniors,
had food.
Yeah, so they were selling food
the seniors, the sell.
for the senior side.
Right.
Seniors.
So there was a whole group of different things going on.
The seniors sell food, they always do food for the auction,
Right.
stuff like that.
For the, yeah, for the Brownsville Seniors Club or something that they have.
See what you
is
can
the
find
food.
out, who the money was turned over to, and if it was cash or check, if there's checks, it would be a copy of check. That'd be great. Awesome, okay, well, we'll look into that and see. Definitely.
Thank you very much.
This is all for that matter, right? Here's past, park committee, here's past rentals, for December. End of November, up to December 28th. They took in $315. 5 of them were $25. One of them was a $65. And the other was an auction rental of $125, total $315. As of January 1st, there's no bookings for January. As of today, there's no bookings for January.
There were no deposits kept on any of those?
No, I looked through all the ones that we've got tonight, all of them paid a deposit. Every one of them were marked on here, the deposit was paid. And the date the deposit was returned. But all of them did pay a deposit, and all of them said they were returned.
Well, whoever got their deposit back that left the others
Yeah.
on should never got their deposit back, seems to me.
Or didn't clean it,
Maybe they should
that auction at
See if
one
they
time.
got their deposit.
All that stuff.
Maybe
was
they
left
did.
in there.
How do we know they did get their deposit back? Is there a signature or anything like that?
There is not, in, state auction, for example, they paid a rental amount of $125, the deposit amount was $25, both were paid in cash. And then it said the deposit was returned in cash.
There's no receipt there. There should be a receipt.
Or a signature from the party that rented it?
If you're renting something, you get a receipt.
One of them, the deposit was given with a check.
She probably just handed the
That's
check
the
back.
original check, was how the deposit was returned.
She can't deposit it anyway, she just has to hold it, so she just hands it back.
Two of them will be
Yeah.
checks.
But all the deposits were returned.
Yes. Stays on here, yes. These were all returned.
And there's your record request, Patty, it's October's,
There's that.
right there.
And, this was also turned in, it's a copy of the calendar for October.
That's what you asked for, wasn't it?
Can I ask a question?
Yours.
Where did you get all this stuff from? If the park committee didn't show up tonight?
Mr. Wiseman had it in his hand, handed it to me, I brought it in.
He's done.
So you've had all this information even at the last special meeting?
No, ma'am. When you walked across the street after that meeting adjourned, he handed it to me, I brought it in, put it on the table.
Well, there's that. So we'll look into the,
That's
where that table went, and then we'll make phone calls and see if people got their deposits back and whatever.
Is your copier working over there? Because if you don't want to give Patty that one, then make a copy of it or
Take a
something.
copy of
A little
it.
bit. They're right there. Okay. All
So
right.
just to clarify, Jenny, you will now give Patty a copy?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, unfinished business. The only thing on the agenda is trash. I spoke to the prosecutor over the past month, once or twice, I don't know, recently once within the past 10 days maybe. She said 2 letters were sent out, both of them were returned back to the prosecutor's office. The third action they're gonna take is they're gonna send a letter to his house. He'll have 28 days to respond. If he does not respond, it'll proceed forward with legal matters, so. That's where that's at,
28 days from when?
for when they send the letter.
We haven't done it yet.
They've sent 2 letters, certified.
The one that's 28
No,
days from.
they sent 2 letters, both of them have been returned. I asked her if they could have a sheriff actually deliver it, she said they tried that. She said they couldn't deliver it to anywhere they didn't have that. They said the address that was listed for his business was a shed, is what she said.
A shed.
A shed, that's what she said. So, they couldn't deliver it. So, she said she has his home address, and she's going to send a letter to his house. And she said that will be deemed reasonable to send just a regular letter to his house, and he'll have 28 days to respond after that. So that's where we're at with that. Any other unfinished business? Jeff?
Yeah, I guess it blew on by zoning. Like I mentioned, I got a record request. It's a little bit disturbing here because under the narrative, an incident occurred on township property here on November 5th. Apparently the sheriff was called. The disturbing part to me here is that, if the narrative's right, there's some false information here. So,
Can I be privy to that information?
yeah, it's LCSO number 13-025996. Officer Van Balen was here. It was election day. But the part that's disturbing here is that you apparently confiscated some signs, and you referenced that, this is the officer's narrative.
Okay.
If he's got it accurate. He's saying here that the signs were, well, let's just read it. 'Cause word for
Read it.
word. Upon speaking to Ben Hutt, Bowling Green Township trustee, he advised that Jeffrey, and they're referring to Jeff Baird, did not have permission to have signs on the township property and their zoning. They were too large. Ben advised that the signs were placed in the township hall. He retrieved the 2 signs and returned them to Jeffrey. Nothing further at this time. Our zoning does not have a size stipulation on those kind of signs.
Sure it does.
So, no, it doesn't. So I'd request that
What
you,
would you classify that sign under? What classification would you classify it under, Jeff?
there's no signs that we have that have stipulated sizes that they would fall under.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have size, or sign rules and regulations here, isn't it?
9.10G, no size specified, this is out of our zoning. 910G, temporary signs announcing special public or institutional events, the erection of a building or signs for familiar uses such as signs shall be removed within 2 weeks of the completion of the event or project. That's all it says under there. There's no size specified.
Okay,
So I just wanna make-
let's take the first action that was in there, okay? It was on township property, and it was not taken down once, it was taken down twice.
This is the incident that
Twice.
occurred on the
The
5th.
first time, you came and collected them, okay? Agree?
The first
time you came and collected them, do you agree? Yes or no?
they were locked in the building.
you agree?
I gave
Yes
them
or
back- I gave the property back.
So
to
you
the
came and
owner.
collected them the first time, and then you allowed them to put them up a second time on township property.
I didn't allow anything. On November 5th, I was not. On November 5th, I always make myself available to work a poll. I was at the Lakewood High School.
Did you allow it the first time?
I was not here when those signs were erected either time,
Okay,
okay?
exactly.
My
Did he have
point is-
permission to put them on township property? Absolutely not.
Well, any auctioneer in the past has always done that.
We
And
allow
anybody
them, we
that
allow
has-
them to use the board out here, okay, which is not a problem. We do not allow them to adhere things to the board. We do not allow them to adhere things to the fence.
From what
Okay.
I understand,
If
November
that's the
5th.
case, then we're gonna let any business that wants to put an advertising on that fence, we're gonna let them do it.
That's, anytime any auctioneers use that building, they've been able to promote that event 2 or 3 days before, and it's never been a problem for anybody.
And we allow them to do that, okay? But he also put them up before another event. Yes?
I wasn't here on the 5th. I don't know where he elected on the
Yes.
5th.
So what do you want done about it, Jeff? Besides whining?
Well, I don't think
The board was to be used for a prior event. He had adhered them to that sign. Both sides, they were removed by me.
And I
Okay.
gave him his property back, it belonged to him.
You came and got them,
Right.
okay?
I
The
gave
next
him
day,
back-
they showed up on the fence, adhered to the fence, they were fixed to the fence. I removed them again, on township property, they should not have been, on township property. Put them in the building again, okay? The next thing I know is I get a call from the sheriff that he wants the signs back. Come get them. I don't want them. They shouldn't have been on township property to begin with. I could have thrown them in the trash, do you know why? Because they had no return address on them, they had no phone number on them.
They're not political
Okay,
signs, they
so
don't need a
if-
address. and
They
phone
should not have
number.
been affixed to any township property. They could have got thrown in the trash, but I didn't. I was gonna give him the opportunity to have those back, which he received them back, yes.
I understand he had to use the sheriff to get his.
The meet the candidate signs were thrown
Did
away.
he call me?
I don't know.
Did he call you?
My point
Did he call you,
is,
Dan?
that what this says
Exactly.
is not accurate. I read the zoning to you, and
Should
under
we
So
my-
not-
follow that up with the sheriff,
Department?
not me. Make a report that that's an inaccurate report.
I do have something to say.
it's understanding the zoning that I'm getting at here.
That's what I would like to refer to, the zoning part.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, on G, temporary sign announcing special public or institutional event, the erection of a building or signs for similar use. Such signs shall be removed within 2 weeks of the completion of the event or project. Now, what occurred was a sale. It was an auction, correct?
Public auction.
Under that, it didn't know. It was an auction, okay? Which could fall underneath A. So it depends upon how you read your signs under zoning.
Cross your
To
T's,
me,
dot your I's.
and the prosecuting attorney fell under A because it was a sale.
And let me tell you
There
something.
was money being transferred, that is a
And let me tell you
sale.
something.
Do you
There
have-
is a
do you have-
size of 12 square
And let me
feet.
tell you something, Jeff. Don't think I didn't do this without getting legal advice first, okay? Call Amy, you can ask her, she will verify that I called her and asked her about these. End of story.
Hey, Dan, can I comment on that?
Good.
Jeff says when they have these other auctions, they have it out on their sign, okay? Does those people have permission? Do they get with the people and get it approved about the building, to use the building?
No,
And all
nobody's
that.
ever done that. We've had church groups, they put their church signs, auctions, event signs.
Courtesy, we allow them to use that.
That sign, yeah.
Okay, yes.
But the big sign had no permission.
No,
And at that point in time, there was a sign out there indicating election.
yes. To remind people to vote
And
is
they
what it
covered
was.
it up.
Well, it was the guy that Jeff was trying to get elected over these guys, and we all know what it was, so let's say what it was.
Do you have any more
It
further
was political pressure.
unfinished
again.
business?
I think if you check back in the minutes, a few years back, they had this in there, that there was no politician signs on the property around here.
There should, that's a law, there shouldn't be anything on there.
It wasn't a politician sign, it was advertised
It wasn't.
before the auction. The problem was, his name was larger than everything else, and he's put it on township property without contacting the president.
And if you wanna
He's
get
asking permission.
if you wanna
so
get
all the
technical about it,
trustees
it
can talk
could
about
actually be
it.
considered an overt election sign is what it could be considered. But I'm not considering it that. It was still affixed to township property, which is not allowed.
He
With
didn't
no
even have the
permission.
sale, the other guy had the sale.
That's the truth. You wanna argue that one too? He wasn't even holding the sale.
I think you're missing what.
I'm not
He
missing
was
the
up
point,
there
Jeff.
running around at the other election, Jeff, said, boy, I can't wait to elect you.
Now, what he needs to do is go contact the police department because he's complaining about the report. Zoning is correct.
Any other unfinished
I
business?
think it should, you know, if you don't do something about it, it could repeat again. I brought it up, it's
Oh, we'll repeat again, stop taking it
9.10G.
out again.
There's no sign specification for size. If you want one, you need to move forward to make that happen, do it properly through zoning.
Do you have any other unfinished
You
business,
don't wanna
Jeff?
make up zoning as you go.
We're not. It's already in black and white.
In
believe
black,
you did.
thank you.
Read it all.
Black and
It's
white.
all in the record.
Don't read just what you wanna read.
It's all right here.
In black.
Alright, no other unfinished business, new business.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
You got anything?
I don't have any.
You have anything? No. I really don't have anything. Jeff, do you have anything on new business? Alright, did you have something you wanna ask?
yes, I would like to know how Jeff is proceeding on this, getting the water softener in the building over there that he had a month now to do. What's the situation?
Dan called me and asked me not to proceed on it.
I did not. That's absolutely a lie.
No, it's
I
not. I
told-
recorded the call, that's not a
Well,
problem.
okay, well then let's leave the recording. I told you to call.
You recorded it legally?
I said, yeah, you
As
didn't
long
tell
as
me.
one person hears the
I
Don't
recording.
have to, Dan,
Knows
learn
it's
the law.
being
Okay, but I told you,
You wanted it shocked or something.
I said, it should be shocked. I said, did you call, them well drillers and talk to them about shocking?
I talked to one guy about it, and, he said that you didn't need to shock it to do a hardness test.
Okay, but I didn't tell you to stop
And
on it. There's nowhere on your tape recorder that told me to tell you to stop on that water softener.
before you install one, you're supposed to get it tested.
Okay,
And
did
how
you
can
get
I
it tested?
move it forward if it's not tested?
What did you
You
get
said
it-
you wanted a shock before it was tested for
I said,
hardness.
call Mount Water Drilling or Roger Guard and talk to them about the water, didn't I?
Well,
Now, come on,
when
tell
Barb called me, she
You're-
told me that somebody came down here and did shock it. Did somebody do that?
I don't know, I didn't tell anybody to come to shock it.
Okay.
You're catching yourself in your own lies here.
No, sir.
Do you know what it,
No,
do you know what it entails to get a water test?
You're jumping to
Slide down, slide
Now,
down.
I wanna listen to I wanna listen to what I told you on the phone. Now,
You told me, it's not even worth it, Dan. You told me not to do it because you wanted it shocked before it was
Okay.
tested, for
Play it.
whatever reason.
play it.
Now, I did get quotes, you said that Lowe's, they have 3 off the shelf, roughly $300, $400, and $500.
Come on, play it.
We didn't ask you to get quotes, we said to do it.
All you gotta do is buy 3
Told you.
pound bleach.
Play it.
Just had $1,000.
You caught yourself in your lies.
No, sir.
Yes, you did, because I
No.
did not tell you to stop.
You can't proceed forward if you want it shocked first before it's tested.
I
Dan.
told you
To
to
get a
call
water
and
test.
ask him people.
To get a water test takes you
I
about
did
15
talk-
minutes.
I did talk to you.
Okay,
told
I
you
did
that.
not tell you to stop.
How can I proceed if that needs to be done first? There's
That's
potential
what I
costs
told you to
involved.
talk to them people.
They will,
Yeah,
there's
and I
no
have
cost
problem
involved in
discussing
getting
it
a
as
water
board.
test, they will do
You
it for
sitting here
free.
calling me a liar, what's that accomplishing?
I'm telling the truth.
It makes sense, both of them, makes sense.
It's simple.
I did not tell you to stop on that.
Technically, you did.
I told you to check with them people. I did not tell you
And
to
I
stop
did.
on it. Okay.
You did.
Did you get a water test?
Did you call me back and tell me what they
I
said?
had a call and somebody told me someone was down here and they thought they were shocking it or something. That you're saying that didn't happen?
Come on, I didn't come down here and shock it. I didn't tell nobody to shock it.
Who is the call from?
Alright,
So
quiet
you're
down,
saying
quiet
that-
down.
So you're saying you guys didn't do anything this month?
No,
That was your
that was
responsibility.
your responsibility.
1 month.
I did it 3 years ago. I stopped it 3 years ago.
And Benji, can I ask,
I'd like to listen to this
It
tape.
doesn't need to be shocked,
Okay,
from what I understand, to be tested for hardness.
okay. Why don't you play this tape for us?
yes,
I think we all like to hear it, because
Yeah.
I'd like to hear where I told you not to do it.
Dan, how am I gonna?
Prove it
How
to me.
can I go forward on it when you tell me not to do it until it's shocked? There would be an expense involved in
But
that.
now you're saying it doesn't need shock. You just said it doesn't
You
need
just said
shock.
I
Dan
didn't
told
know.
me he didn't want
I
me to do it.
didn't know. I told you to talk to these people
And I did.
first.
And I
Okay.
did.
So then
And you
if they
should
said it
have,
didn't need shock, then you should have.
you should have done it.
We got the money.
He doesn't have the
for it. Why can't
intelligence
we
to
go
think
buy
that way,
one and put it
Jimmy.
in?
Okay.
Anything I move forward, you
we're-
guys are just gonna
No.
say I did it without your
No.
permission.
We gave you permission to do it,
Just pay up to $1,000 for a water softener in that building.
yeah.
but I did not tell you not to do it.
I can't move forward, Dan, if I honor your wish to have it shocked before I do it.
He's right, this ain't worth it. Hey, he's right.
I can't believe the ignorance.
Amen.
No.
He sure moved forward to taking
I
back
got
around
the
that building.
information. There's 3 different off-the-shelf ones at Lowe's, that's where you said to purchase it. We have to determine which one we wanna purchase if we wanna pursue that.
Yeah.
And when I
They
looked
already gave you
into
the
it and asked
responsibility
questions,
to do it.
there were also other issues that came up because it's not a residential building. Because, the man at Lowe's told me, because it's not a residential building, the off-the-shelf one may not be appropriate. And if we are treating water technically, you know, I wanna get more information possibly from
tell
the
you,
health
We're
department.
using the water,
The-
flush the toilet, and wash the dishes.
There is more water used in a residential house
Well, I'm sure of
than
that.
what is going to be used in that building over there.
I don't doubt that at all. But I also know it's a community building and we need to do things right, whatever that is.
I guess Ben and I's gonna have to do it.
We got the wrong guy doing that one too. God almighty. Use my language.
Are you gonna complete the project if not? If not, we'll do it.
Yeah, if you're not gonna finish, we'll do it.
Yeah.
How do you want me to complete it?
I
Give them
suggest the other
information
trustees
so that
do
we
it.
can move forward on it.
We don't need, he has to.
Or else do it.
He don't do nothing. He
I
just,
told you they were,
Nothing.
if you wanna pursue to get it at Lowe's, and you wanna buy it off the
I think-
shelf.
Well,
I'll make a motion that you go buy the medium grade one, okay? Find one midline
Liability that they've got.
and purchase
Well-
it and install it in the community building.
I'm gonna be talking to the health department at this point before I install anything in
Oh,
a
just
community building.
forget it, go do it.
just forget, we'll do it ourselves.
Yes.
No, let him talk to the health department, it's not gonna hurt anything,
You know
it's just
something,
gonna
Jeff?
benefit us, the
They
people.
pay you $600 some a month, plus your insurance.
and he
This
don't do
township
nothing.
has sure wasted a lot of money on it.
Let him talk to
Alright,
that
we're
health
gonna move
department.
on, it'll get taken care of. We'll move on.
It ain't right.
Any other new business, you guys? Move on to public comment.
I'd like to make a request,
Who did it?
the phone call Jeff Morgan got from Dan, the next meeting, him to bring that recorder in, that's all here, because I think everybody.
I'd love to hear it.
So I'd like to make a request to Jeff to bring that in.
Yeah, it'll give him time to edit it, so it says what he
Yeah,
wants it
okay,
to say.
I don't think you got the same voice as Dan, but anyway, I'd also like to thank, Jack Hedges there, I mean, I've seen him out a bunch on this snow stuff out. Jack, do you have any idea how many times he's been out?
Whatever the need, room needs,
Well,
all,
it's done, right.
Randy and Danny.
And I've seen Andy being out, and, I have a question for Jeff, can you tell us the number of times you've been out plowing snow, or?
This is your time, Dave.
I'm asking you
You
the
drop
question.
whatever theater you pick tonight, go for
I'm
it.
asking you the question, but I would like to answer. Can you tell me on one hand how many times you've been out plowing snow?
I've been out several times. This season, no.
So
Yes,
once
it-
last, year over on.
So this season, you're saying, no, you ain't been out once?
That's right.
Okay. I know I've seen the other guys, yeah.
It's a matter of communication, Dave.
You're right, when it snows, we plow. That's usually how it works.
You have to
Even
call
shop
him
well.
to tell him.
Alright, any other public comments from anybody?
No, I would like for you to bring that tape to play at next meeting.
He's not gonna do it.
He said he has, and I think we all deserve to hear that he told the truth and not.
We have a comment.
The man's called me a liar.
Alright, we're gonna move on. We have a comment here. Someone has the floor.
I can't move forward, Dan, if you wanted to move forward in a certain
I
way.
bring the
doesn't
tape in,
recognize
so
the
and
chairman.
then
Well,
just.
supply a copy of the tape, and then we'll know they never called me back on nothing.
Alright, we're gonna move forward.
We
We're
could
gonna
have
move
discussed
forward,
it
okay?
civilly here at a meeting. That's what
Mr. West would like to have the floor. I'm giving Mr. West the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I want a peon request here that I want a copy of these photos of the aerial photos. I want copies of those. And if I have to go to legal procedure, I will. And if there's a fee involved in it, I'll pay it to get these copies of the aerial photos. No, the whole township. It's not just I want the whole township.
I don't think they did the whole township.
Well, they're better then. They better get started. Better buy himself a helicopter.
We don't. I'm
I
sorry.
don't hear your face either.
Would you like a copy of the photos that she has for your property? Is that what you're asking?
I want the whole township.
We
They
don't
didn't,
have.
they didn't take photos of
They
that.
should.
Thank you.
They better,
Why aren't they doing the rest of the junk cars?
That's right.
because there's two violations.
It's not.
There's
There's
many,
more violations.
there's
There's violations everywhere.
many,
There's two violations
many.
that the prosecutor requested that we have aerial
Okay,
photos.
why isn't the prosecutor requesting the ones that I've told everybody about nonstop? I was told that I didn't have to fill out a form, all I had to do was tell somebody, and I've told somebody months
And
and
I've
months and
asked you
months
for
and
the
months and months.
address, and you won't give it to me.
I told you where they were,
You did not give it to me
Right.
now.
I told them.
No,
I told
you
you
did
about,
not.
I told you about the one right down the hill on, right down Rankin Road too, that's in violation, using farm tags
Need an address.
for, commercial hauling.
If there's a violation, you like to turn it over.
Hey, you want me to write them all
We ain't got
down?
nothing to do about license
And I'll
plates.
follow up on.
This is a violation of what was grandfathered in, Danny, way back, way back.
Yep. There you go.
Way
Full
back.
record.
I can tell you that a guy that works for us now and then got stopped and got a fine for working for him under farm tax and hauling stuff that was illegal. I can tell you that happened.
I don't,
I can tell you that
I'm
happened.
gonna tell you, I don't
But
think we
I'll
can
tell
do
you what I
anything
always
about
got. You leave him alone, he's lived here all his life. That's what I always hear.
that. What license plate somebody has on a vehicle, I
I
don't.
don't have none of
The
that.
other thing is, where, is there some place, my curiosity, is there, because way back, the old trustees told me there was nothing in the township rules saying that a township trustee was supposed to go out and do roads. They were supposed to have people hired to do roads. They were just trustees, not road workers.
Right.
Is there, and I heard that they did it just to save the township money, but there was no rule saying that they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to hire somebody like Jack is not a trustee, so-and-so is not a trustee, but the trustees were not supposed to be doing the road work. Is that true or not?
Why would we do that? Why would we hire out everything?
Is there any rule, is there anything in your job description?
Do you know what our budget is? Do you know what our budget is every year?
That has nothing,
Yes, it does.
that has nothing to do
Do
with
you
it.
know how much money we have to get through the next 3 months?
Do you know that there's many ways you could have more money in your budget? Ms.
Exactly,
Township?
you're right. We could take part-time workers off the clock if we had somebody helping us. That's how we could save
But
money.
but whether you like it or not, there is no rule or job description
You're
saying
right.
he's supposed to do that.
You're right, there isn't.
There isn't.
You're right, and people will know that in 2 years.
The taxpayers would love it if he would step in, just like all these volunteers here,
Yeah.
step in to help. And you guys may as well, I don't know what you do.
I don't think I'd want a person on the road on that big equipment that is not
Let me tell you,
knowledgeable
let me
about
tell you.
it.
Jeff owns a Ford F-250, which is no bigger than that white dump truck sitting back there. Okay, so don't tell me it's a bigger truck.
Okay, now, if you wanted more money in this township, we could have things like the little gray shop mall up there, we call it gray shop mall. We could have some things, but everybody, it
We
seems like,
don't want it.
you're right, you didn't
We
want it.
don't want it.
You don't want it.
We moved out here because we
Why?
like it quiet.
You want this town to be absolutely dead. There is no,
Yes.
young
No,
people want to
rural,
live.
rural and quiet.
Nobody wants to come
We
here.
don't need all the
I've
traffic.
heard at all the meetings that it's because of the junk cars and nobody wants to come here. It's because of this, nobody wants to come here. It's because there's nothing here.
I came here, I bought property and built a house.
What do you do for a living?
It's none of your business, I'm sorry, but it isn't.
Well, I mean, do you farm?
I said it's none of your business what I do.
That's kind of smart, like it was just.
No, it's just a fact. You asked me a very personal question. I'm not gonna answer
But
that.
everything that we do is everybody's business.
I don't care.
All the time.
I mean, it's, you know, nothing personal.
Alright, we're gonna move on. I mean, I'm not cutting you off.
Yeah, we want the pictures, and I am going to get, I've got forms, and I'm gonna start writing. And she's gonna be busy.
Well, then don't complain that she's working.
She's gonna be, and I wanna know about the phone, I wanna know about the phone.
I'll get her on there, do what they want to do, and shut
So you
up.
want a copy of the picture of your property is what you're asking.
I
wanna
want
make sure that
him
we
to
know.
run the meeting, not Jack, okay?
I want
You
to
run
know.
the meeting, not Jack, okay? And
What-
if
what
want
would
me
you
to
like
get an
pictures
attorney,
of?
I'll get an attorney,
What would
but
you like
I won't
pictures
get
of?
it because Jack told me to.
Just ignore it. What would you like pictures of? Your property, the aerial picture.
That's right, and whoever else is in violation.
No, I want the whole township.
There were 2 violations.
If I write up all these things, are you gonna go over and fly over and take pictures of them?
If the prosecutor requests
Are you?
it, probably.
No, the prosecutor won't request it because nobody will be pushing them or for that.
But they did request it.
Yeah, there's people that push them on us, but they won't for that.
I love it.
That-
Alright, did you hear that? So we get a copy of the photos? for that?
That's not a problem. I had to talk with Jenny, because I don't know the cost of the discs. If they want an entire township photo, they should probably get on the internet. Okay, the reason
I
that
don't-
we, the
Scott, wrong.
township, cannot utilize the internet photos is because there is a clause that it states it cannot be used for the government. Okay, so if they want the total township aerial photos, they can get on the internet to do that.
I got
But
to get on the lawyer.
the aerial photos that were taken here recently, yes, I will get with Miss Jenny about the cost of a disc and give it to her
I'm
and she
still
can
waiting.
get the refund on it.
I'm still waiting on the list of violations on our property. What are they? Are they the pile of dirt? Are they the sign? Are they the culvert? Are they our tractors? What are they?
Well, we can take the properties with the deeds, they're all done. We can take those off the list.
I want somebody to make out a list of what is really a violation with this township
Mr.
on our
Houseman.
property.
They received that via mail and they have signed it.
Do you remember what it said?
I have a copy of it at
Do you
home.
remember what the violations were against us?
I have a copy of it at
A
home.
sign,
Gary.
a culvert,
Submitted, she go up.
Of course she
She's
did.
blocking
That's
your
what it
hand.
was.
my driveways.
Could you please move an inch away from my camera?
violating the codes.
I
I'm
have
concerned
nothing on
about my
whatever-
property
whatever you
being
guys-
damaged,
My
man.
tractors,
We'll get you a copy.
I want a copy of what's in violation, because I have no idea, because all of those things are not illegal.
Did you receive a letter?
It's not my camera, I don't want it damaged.
Just what I told you long time ago.
I don't want it banged into again here.
Sign, pile of dirt,
Do you have a copy of the letter?
At home, I do it
Make a
in the
copy.
file.
Make sure it goes with the disc.
I can remember Mr. Corpenny saying,
Yes.
why are these tractors a violation? There are tractors.
Yes, I have public comment.
Go ahead.
The Friends of Bowling Green Township met yesterday. We discussed several things. There's some fundraisers you can be looking for in the future. There's also, there was some interest in a neighborhood watch. I'd like to leave with the trustees, I only have one copy, I'm sorry. Neighborhood watch is a pretty good program. We always hear about it in the cities. Well, as we hear, the crime does tend to spread out into this area. It doesn't have to be specific in any specific area. It can be in many specific areas. Whether it's a roadway, a road, for instance, Rankin Road. It could be Dogwood. It could be Brownsville. Whatever it is, there is some interest in that. Now I'm going to leave this with you. We will be meeting again about it. If anyone's interested, please let me know. You can go onto the Bowling Green Township Civility Project Facebook page or Bowling Green Township Civility Project.org and let me know through email. Neighborhood Watch is obviously a nationally renowned organization that I think is a good thing. If you're interested, let me know, please. I'll leave this with the president. And we can have law enforcement come in and talk to us. And we did see a lot of signs of interest. So hopefully somebody here might come to the next meeting, which is the last Monday of the month. or last Monday before, is that the way it's?
Monday of the
last
month, yeah.
Monday of the month over here, so it's a good thing, and I hope you all show up.
Awesome. You said some things about some fundraising.
Yeah, we were, who wants to cover that?
We were talking and discussing, and our next meeting will have dates and everything. A chili cook-off,
Jeff?
and it'll all be by donation, money will be donated, and that money from the donations will go towards the decorative signs that were brought up before by Patty about putting around Bowling Green Township, entering, you have entered Bowling Green Township.
And definitely just keep us updated on when the dates are gonna be.
Yeah, I do have a public comment I'd like to make.
Okay.
Jenny, could you help me on when the board made a resolution that all cameras are to be put on the board, not the residents?
I can't tell you when it happened, but I know we have record of it. Yeah.
Can you, by any chance at a later date, get me that record?
Yes.
Because your township trustee keeps recording the people in
You don't want that?
the residence, not the table, and I know a resolution was made. So the township trustee is in violation of that,
Not the first one.
but I need to make sure that that is put in record again.
Yes.
Also make sure you put it, appropriate as absence, public comment.
Mr. President,
Public comment?
yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
can you stop this blockage of the camera there? It's in this blue thing where it's supposed to be. These people are blocking the camera. Isn't that in violation of the rule?
He's running a camera.
You don't care?
I can't tell people where to sit if you'd like to sit. You know.
They're standing blocking the thing.
If they're disrupting my meeting, I can ask them to leave. These people are not disrupting my
You just
meeting.
stand there.
You wanna stand over here?
All right.
Well, he was
If you're,
filming at
if
the
you're
same
in
time.
disruption of my meeting, I'll ask you to leave.
Well, that is disrupting the
They're
meeting.
not disrupting my meeting.
I don't hear nothing.
Okay, so
But
You
but
just
if
stand
you
where
were
you
if you were to come up here and stand on the table, you're disrupting my meeting.
Would you stop, would you get off of my camera?
You
Very-
moved your camera to get me.
She's pushing my tripod around. This is ridiculous,
Well, I'm
Patty.
watching it too.
No, you moved the camera and hit me.
You've hit me twice, Jeff.
You're, that's ridiculous. Look how they're shoving
Yes,
me in the
you're
room,
exactly
Gary.
right, it is
Ben,
ridiculous.
Ben,
But you are,
Ben,
yeah,
Ben,
why don't
we got a
you-
problem
yeah,
going
why
over
don't
here.
we video the whole thing, Jeff?
He hit her, he hit me with the leg, and
Yeah,
he's yelling
he's
at her. I
moving
think it's
his
causing a little
tripod
bit
to
of a
hit
problem.
us.
Cause a little bit of conflict?
Yeah.
Yes.
you're in the way.
So he's
She's backed an
intentionally
inch
hitting
away
them?
from the thing. I'm trying
Patty,
to
is that what
protect
you
this
said? He's intentionally
equipment that
hitting
doesn't even
them?
belong to me.
Don't you think you protect your spot at the board right here? Come sit with us and have a discussion?
Okay, well, we're done with public comment.
Call maker report?
No, we're not done. I got hanged up.
Hey,
Hey, your ass,
do not, do not touch a woman. Do not touch a woman, you hear me?
What does
I'll have the sheriff in here for assault, you hear me?
Go ahead,
What does it say?
go ahead.
You touch her one more time,
Go
and I'll
ahead.
have him in here for assault.
camera.
She has the right to
It's
stand
in
up.
court camera.
She's not filming. What was this for? For the cameras.
I'm telling
I've
you.
got my camera right here. You're not filming, it's in your pocket.
Alright, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, Buzz brought up about the light.
Alright, I have that in my notes. Yep.
Okay.
If it pertains to anybody in here, they care.
Well, I guess Jack gave him the light. Didn't you give him the light bulb? No.
We have the light removed. I had a guy come in, take it down. I seen him in town. He took it down. The power company was out here working. They said they were going to replace it. It was their responsibility, so they're going to replace it. So that's where we're at on that.
I just wanted to tell him, that's all. He asked me
Pal's
about
property, it is the electric company's responsibility.
Number now.
Huh?
Any other public comment? Last call. That's it. Make a motion to pay bills.
I second it.
Well, he said he'd buy it.
Hey, Gary, do you mind standing here so I can get up there so I can sign checks?
He was asking about last night. Well, that's one
If you want a security light, then you buy it.
The house.
They said they were
But, you know, he was asking me.
We don't have it right here. Girlfriend of mine, the house, Tracy, the house.
Yeah.
We're trying to find
They
it.
did it last year.
It's just that building right back there.
The white one?
Yeah, the white building.
That's where it went then.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Oh, it's unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. What's
It's that
that?
big, no, you're fine, it's that big flow building, right?
Thank you.
Everybody else said.
There's a girl in here.
I just know she said I gave it to the woman in charge of the building or something. Yeah, she said 3 months.
That's what it was.
Okay, check 4341, Jeff Portpenny, 62289.
I wonder if that character got more to get money in a long time. That is insulting.
4348, $90.70, Y City. For aerial photos.
Really?
We did have a resolution to pay this.
And that's what this is. Yeah.
Just like that.
4349, Parks League, 283.96, do we have time sheets? 4350, Parks League, 86.33. 4335, Lowe's Companies, 111.48. These are probably for the building supplies.
Yeah, yeah.
And I brought you 2 receipts, did you get those? The trash bag. Paper
You'd ask how many times the guys were on the road this month? 8 times.
4336, Englefield Oil Company, $1,139.67.
It's the same guy that
4337, $41.31, Napa Auto Parts. Tape and rags and belts. 4338, Ace Truck Equipment, $115.22. Clutch pump, rewired clutch pump and stroke tube. 4339, Jack Hedges, $159.32.
That was for a blower motor for the furnace.
Says on there. I can show you the like.
4340, Ohio Public Entity Consortium, $239.40. 4346, Uganda, Lawson, 469.35. 4345, Daniel Nelson Van Buren, 620.81.
Are you signing anything?
Jack Richard Hedges, 51307, I'm going to show you some time sheets. Jane DeVault, 4342, 897. Colors best.
I don't know.
How long have that?
We pay him.
Wednesday morning?
Yeah, we will. That'd be fine.
It only has to run once.
Hey, before we adjourn, we need to set a yearly organizational meeting. We usually do that pretty early in January. So we're gonna set it for January 8th, which is a Wednesday, at 8 a.m. If anybody would like.
8 a.m., not p.m.
8
a.m.
a.m.
It's in the morning,
Yeah.
once in 4.
Organizational meeting.
Is that the one where I didn't show up last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be there.
You'll get the same result.
But I wasn't here last year, so I didn't get any of these.
I know. You'll get the same one.
Oh, that is wrong.
You know what these?
You know how they
And I got some
appropriations
of these
are?
coming, I might have to quit my real job.
No.
I might be able to make a living out of it.
So you want signatures on that, so much as this time sheets to be able to. If you don't want a signature, then that's That's fine too.
I know they did the work.
Jeff don't do nothing.
Yeah, we were testing.
Does not do nothing.
Make sure you put into the record, Jenny. We have some checks here that were signed by all three of us. I just want everybody to be aware. There was 2 checks to Mrs. Barb Salik that were not signed by Jeff. The other 3 individuals here signed them. Donald Watkins, which is a payroll check, was also not signed. And then a payroll check for Mr. Hedges was not signed, and then a reimbursement check for a piece of equipment that Jack had paid for the furnace, was a blower motor, was also not signed. So I just want to make sure.
I'd like to know why he don't sign this stuff, especially for work that's been done for the township.
I don't have a problem signing them at all. I just sat here calmly and asked to see the timesheets if you'd like me to sign
I
them.
heard that.
That's all there is to it. If you don't want me to sign them, then don't show me the timesheets.
Where's your time sheet?
Did you get the time?
You don't have one, 'cause you don't do nothing. You get paid. At least they work.
Hers is
Well,
bad.
we can.
All right, well, I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn.
We can solve that real quick. All
What
we have to do is move a motion to put the trustees on hourly method. That'd solve your problem.
You go broke.
How? You'd break us 'cause you put all a bunch of stuff on there that ain't even true, like you already said.
We're done.
Ah,
I'd like to get paid in half an hour.